Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us today. We are definitely pleased you chose to take a look at the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program, and we hope it can become an asset for you and your business. If you have any questions during the session, please put them in the chat, and we will have Q&A at the end of the session. I'll be monitoring the chat, and if there's anything pressing, I'll make sure that you get an answer sooner than later. Also, the session will be recorded and shared with everyone. So with that, I'd like to introduce our presenter, Dr. Kiana Ralph, the Director of Partnerships and Outreach, who oversees all recruitment efforts for Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses at Community College of Philadelphia. Kiana, it's all yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christine. Well, it's just such a pleasure to be with you all this morning. Hope everyone's Friday is going well so far. And I'm going to hop right into the presentation and pull up our PowerPoint slide. Just give me one moment. And so as you may have noticed from the flyer, we are currently recruiting. In fact, we're recruiting for our next cohort, which is scheduled for January 14th of 2021. And so by the end of the presentation, we will talk a little bit about how to apply for this upcoming cohort and what that process will look like. All right, so here we go. So Goldman Sachs. So let's talk about what we're going to review today. We're going to talk about our participants, our program overview, the outcome, selection, criteria, what to expect, success stories, and how to apply. And as we talk about success stories, actually we have a special treat today because we have one of our very own alumni who actually just hopped on the conference call, and Albert Jacobs. I know he's multitasking, handling business affairs while hopping on. So I will introduce Albert a little later on in the program, and he'll share a little bit about himself and how the 10KSB program has been able to help his business. So I want to start off by saying that the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program initially started in Africa and Europe as a 10,000 small business program for women. And it was eventually grown into something larger here in the United States. Our specific site was originated in 2013. And since then, we've been able to serve over 568 alumni. And we're really excited about that because 46% of those individuals happen to also be women-owned businesses. So it stays true to the very roots of the program. And you'll also notice that the ages vary anywhere between 22 to 84 years old. Education levels range anywhere from high school or GED through graduate level degrees. In fact, sometimes people may say to us, hey, I have a graduate level degree. What can I gain from this program? I've already gone through years of school. And as a person who myself has a doctoral degree, I can honestly say that there is still so much to glean from this program. The fact that they're able to make it very practical. You have people who are not individuals who are not only professors and involved in the academia side, but they're practitioners. And so in many cases they have either ran their own business or have assisted someone. And so they bring a depth of knowledge that really combines the two areas. And these individuals, our participants, are also representative of their communities in the range of various industries. So currently we have about 19 sites altogether. And so Goldman Sachs Foundation was Goldman Sachs Foundation decided to give funding to 19 sites to help facilitate the program itself. So our particular site is based out of Philadelphia Community College, but there are another 18 sites that do pretty much the same thing as we do. And one of those sites is actually a national cohort. And the national cohort has been focused on drawing anyone who may fall outside of the 19 various local sites. And everything that they do is pretty much a hybrid program. So it's a combination of virtual and in-person. And so what that has allowed us to do, particularly now during COVID, is help us to pivot very seamlessly, because although we are initially a in-person program, we, like many other institutions, have gone virtual. And Babson College, who creates the curriculum for our program, was able to utilize the program curriculum that has already been established for the national cohort to very seamlessly now convert that over to the program and the curriculum that is currently used in our virtual programming. And so we're really thrilled about that process and the fact that it has shown to be very effective. So I mentioned the name Babson College. And so Babson College is ranked as the #1 entrepreneurial education college in the nation. In fact, the semester or year of education at Babson College is somewhere about $50,000 because of the level, because of just the caliber of it. And when you translate that over to the program that they've crafted and put together, it can be equated to be the same. So although this is a free program, it is valued at tens of thousands of dollars because the creators are bringing to it a wealth of knowledge, experience, and again, a proven track record of success that has been able to raise up some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the nation. Another national partner of ours is ICIC, and they are the leading authority on U.S. inner city economies and the businesses that thrive there. And so we've been able to partner up with ICIC to help with some of our marketing and help be able to expand our reach. And in particular, I do want to add that there is a special initiative to reach out to minority-owned and immigrant-owned businesses. In fact, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but I want to note the fact that we are, due to COVID, making some exceptions to our initial requirement, and we're allowing more flexibility, and particularly to those organizations who are minority owned and immigrant owned. And so we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the presentation. So I know many of you may be wondering, so what is the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program? So it is an educational program that drives business growth, increases job creation, and drives the business owner to work on their business strategically and not work in their business tactically. So for any of you who may have read the book, The E-Myth, or maybe you've just experienced firsthand some of the frustrations frustrations of being a business owner and having to run the day-to-day operations. It can get overwhelming, particularly if you don't have the correct and appropriate systems in place. And you may find yourself, or have found yourself, working more in your business than on your business. And so this program helps you make that necessary transition so that now you are positioned to grow and expand. As mentioned earlier, the curriculum in the program is designed by Babson College of Boston, and it's a customized program that goes beyond the basic concept that many other small business courses present. In fact, a lot of times you just may see a focus on the business plan, but we focus on a growth plan. And we'll talk a little bit more about what a growth plan is later on in the presentation. But the idea is that our curriculum is focused to concentrate on a much deeper level of business strategy, execution, and growth. So the program itself is founded on 3 key pillars. The first pillar is business and management education. The 10,000 Small Businesses expands the amount of growth capital available to small businesses typically unable to obtain credit from traditional sources. And they go about this by making sure that each business owner is equipped with the knowledge and the understanding on how to apply for those particular opportunities. And even before that, they provide a curriculum that helps position them to be a benefactor of that opportunity. Because as we all know, whenever you're reaching out for resources, those entities want to make sure that your company is in shape, in tip-top shape. And so this program helps ensure that you are well prepared for that. And you can expect, and throughout the duration of the program, to spend about 100 in-class hours. Now, these in-class hours, it doesn't mean that you're going to be glued to your screen the entire time, right? So this is a combination of webinars and time with your growth groups and also your accountability partner. It also includes time that you'll be spending with your business advisor, who will follow you throughout the duration of the program. And so the second pillar, as we kind of alluded to, this program also helps create pathways to capital for you by helping you to get in a position to access certain opportunities. And we partner with various CDFIs, including PIDC, who we had the opportunity to do a presentation for yesterday. And because of that, we're able to also utilize our network to help position our program participants to take advantage of various opportunities. I feel like this is also a good point to add that during COVID-19, we did some of our own pivots, and we began to offer resources for all of our alumni and current scholars that help prepare them for applying to programs such as PPP or the EIDL loan and various grants that were issued as a result of the pandemic. And a lot of them were able to come to us and say, and just show appreciation and say how much it made a difference to be able to have that additional support during this time so that they were able to be well positioned for those opportunities. And last but not least, the third pillar is business support services. And as mentioned, provide with expert advice and technical assistance. Each program participant is provided with expert advice and technical assistance through partnerships with local government, law firms, economic development organizations, and people of Goldman Sachs. And so one of the things that we often do is through the program, we will establish various panels from some of the partnerships that I just mentioned, and they would come in oftentimes and offer their expert advice, and then even sometimes do role play so that they can walk through case scenarios of what business owners can expect when approaching bankers and different things of that sort. And so the network of support, business support there is also another very key element of the program. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about what you can expect in the event that you go through the program. And so we start off with orientation, and we get acclimated to the various staff members, the team, and all those individuals that will be supporting you through your journey. And then one of the things that I love is that it begins with you, because at the end of the day, you are your business. And so we make sure that throughout the program that there's an emphasis placed on you as the leader and how you can grow throughout this entire process. And so the first module is what we call them, really hones in on who you are as a as a leader and talks about your opportunity statement, which you're then used throughout the program. From there, we begin the discussion on money and talking about the importance of understanding your finances. Interesting enough, many of our alumni have gone on to fire their accountants after they have gone through the program, because they were able to look at their books and see that not everything was always done in a way that they should have been done, or perhaps their accountant wasn't necessarily really setting them up for growth. And so they were empowered to make those kind of key positions for their business. And as we talked about as part of the program, we also make sure that we spend time on really dissecting you as a leader and helping to strengthen your leadership style, and using this as a platform to then help you strengthen your leadership team, right? And that's when we talk about is the people and understanding working styles and being able to create a really strong organizational culture. Then we also talk about marketing and selling. As we all know, marketing and selling is a very huge component of the business world. And so this program would not be complete without ensuring that that was part of the program. As such, operations and processes, and helping to ensure too that business owners have the right pieces in place to make sure that their business is working like a well-oiled locomotive machine. And we talked about being bankable and making sure that you're prepared for accessing capital. And then as we draw to the end, we tie it all together and really talk about an action for growth, right? An implementation plan that the business owner is able to take and utilize to help them grow their business. So we've been throwing out the term growth plan and talking a lot about growth. So let's dive in a little deeper and discuss what that really entails. So a growth plan is a strategic and tactical implementation to guide your business growth. It guides all course material directly to your business and includes a personal statement of your growth aspirations, the strategic overview of the business inputs necessary to achieve that growth, and an implementation plan. And that piece is very critical. There's a book called The Knowing and Doing Gap. And essentially it talks about how many business owners may know what it takes to grow their business, but may not have the action plan in place in order to make the changes necessary. And so again, this program helps merge that so that now you have something tangible that you can take with you to be able to now make the necessary changes in your business. And so, as mentioned, the program is designed to facilitate the growth of your business and yourself as a leader. The primary tool for stimulating this development is the creation of your growth plan. So now I'm actually going to call on Albert Jacobs. I mentioned Albert earlier. Albert is he's an alumni who was able to go through the program. I believe it was 2017, Albert, but you can verify that when you speak. And he was part of cohort 13. And Albert has seen tremendous growth since the time he's been able to go through the program. And so I'm going to ask Albert to share a few words about just some of the things that he's been able to accomplish and some of the results he's been able to see since he has completed the 10KSB program.
Okay, thank you, Kiana. I appreciate the welcome. Hey everyone, my name is Al Jacobs. I'm owner and president of Bright Beginnings Child Care Center. It's a child care center that provides child care educational services for children in Mount Laurel. And I'm also owner of Primetime Logistics, which is an Amazon delivery partner. I'll give everybody a kind of a brief overview of my experience with the program. I like to say from the start, I'm a huge advocate for the program. I hope you can tell from what I'm about to explain or see my story and understand why I'm so excited to present it to you. Basically, I started off as an entrepreneur in 2011. I found my personal need, which was to provide childcare services. I had a child. I wasn't happy with the services available in my area. I wanted something that could provide video services. I wanted to be able to watch my child all day. So it might have been a little extreme, but that was my need. So we created a childcare business in 2011. I had the great aspirations. I was going to be great. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to start a business, and everything would just work out. That was my vision, so to say, and that was far from the truth. I started out. It was difficult. It was didn't go as planned. We for the first 4 years we did grow. We went from 0 children to 40, but I ended up putting in over 80 hours every week. We still were paycheck to paycheck, but I was happy to say, hey, I didn't have a boss. But still, at that time, I wasn't where I wanted to be. So fast forward from 2012 to 2016, where I found out about the Goldman 10KSB program. I was accepted in 2017, and I could tell you everything changed tremendously. The biggest thing I could tell you is that what I learned in Goldman is that businesses at its simplest form is a system, it's a machine. There are processes that you can implement that will make huge improvements to your business. So one of the things I tell a lot of new entrepreneurs is that we become entrepreneurs because we are capable, we are able, we like to do and create. So, we do as much as our hands can do. But once you get but so large, you're not able to juggle or do but so much. So the only way to get to that next level is to build systems, is to create operations, improve the machine. And this 10KSB program focuses on that so tremendously that I really can't put in enough into words of the education and experience you get from the program. One of the things I would say stands out is the module. Well, Kiana pointed out a few modules, but one that stood out to me was the operations and processes. They actually take you through something that a lot of new businesses struggle with: creating processes, documenting them, and then assigning them. One of the things that freed me up was being able to actually put my processes that need to be carried out on paper, set goals so that I could know what the person that was carrying them out had to accomplish, and then run my business from metrics. I went from, like I said, from 50 children in 2016 to 120 children in 2020. So we pretty much grew by 50% every year after I started the program. Ended up becoming known as one of the best centers in our area. And my favorite part is I'm no longer working in my business daily. Those 80-hour work weeks are far behind me. Even at our largest capacity of 120, I would tell you that I'm happy to say I'm working in the center maybe 5 hours a week. It's just tremendous what you are able to do once you have systems in place to get what you want. So the learning and training from Goldman is what helped me to get to that point in my childcare center. So now that it's running pretty self-sufficiently, I was able to turn to another business. And in 2019, I found the opportunity to become a delivery service partner for Amazon. A lot of you are familiar with the blue Amazon truck that comes down the road and drops your packages off every day, but not everyone knows that that's actually not owned by Amazon. Amazon outsources those to small businesses. So our business was granted the opportunity to obtain 5 trucks from Amazon and make deliveries in a local area. Well, we did so well with that Amazon has now allowed our company to deliver 70 trucks a day. We're delivering about 11 to 12,000 packages a day, 80,000 packages a week. We're responsible for all deliveries in South Jersey, all the way from the Walt Whitman Bridge to just about Newark. So if you're in the Jersey area, my team's probably delivering your Amazon packages. But that business model is pure operations. It's process, it's performance, it's metrics, stuff that you think you know, but what you find from Goldman is that there are proven formulas. There are different reports for your financials, your income statement, your cash flow statement, your balance statement. That type of data that you learn in this course prepares you for anything. For me to be able to switch from childcare to logistics, which is a completely different business model, that's because Goldman taught me not how to just improve my business. It taught me how to be a better business person. I can go into a business and now put things on paper and make projections and understand what I'm getting into and make the decision if it's a good thing to do. So I'm a huge advocate for the program. My logistics company is now at 140 employees, and this is only 13 months. And to be able to see that type of growth is pure. I always turn back to Goldman and say thank you. It People say, what did you get most from this? And it's like clarity. I'm prepared. I have knowledge. I have a network of people. Every cohort has about 30 people in it. So I now have 30 new peers who have the same aspirations, same goals, who are working to improving or building businesses that I can use as for thought, for knowledge. And again, this is all things that are part of the program that some people might not be aware of. So as far as my experience with the program, I have nothing but positive things. And if you're trying to sum it up in one sentence, I would tell you this is the program to help you get from where you are now to where you envisioned your business really being when you started. We all come in with big dreams, and it's not hard. It's not easy to just get there. But with the knowledge and the processes and the network and the experience you get from these classes here, you can get your business to that dream stage that you always wanted it to be at.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Albert. That was an amazing testimonial, and we appreciate you taking the time to share. So we feel like it's always helpful to hear firsthand how the program has impacted our alumni. And it's one thing to hear me say it, but it's another thing to hear someone who has actually gone through the entire journey and has then also saw the return on investment from the time and effort and dedication. And so thank you so much. We know you're super busy, but I'm glad that you're able to pop in. I'm gonna see if you can stick around for Q&A later. More than would love to, because we would love to have you, but if you have to go at any point, definitely understand. We know that you're
no problem. That's my favorite part. I'm definitely hanging around. Anybody that's on the line, please, any and every question, throw it our way. Love to answer anything I can help with.
Awesome. Appreciate you. All right. So as we continue on with the presentation, let's talk about the program takeaways. Right, so you heard about how impactful the growth plan can be to your business. Let's talk about what that ultimately consists of. And so through that process, you will be able to improve your presentation skills. You will understand cash flow, attract top talent, identify new business opportunities, strengthen negotiation tactics, and maximize your marketing strategy. We spoke earlier about the network of support, which is it's just a phenomenal benefit with the program. And that support comes through access to subject matters, where you have people who have the experience both on the practical side and academia side to be able to share with you. You also have the one-on-one business advising, where you'll be able to be assigned your own business advisor throughout the program that can help become a sounding board for you to bounce different questions off of as you begin to make critical decisions on your business. We know that, especially even now during the pandemic, that is even more important to have. And so definitely a huge benefit. Another benefit includes the powerful peer learning opportunities. And so as Albert mentioned, there are so many things that you glean from the program. And one of the, probably one of the most impactful is just the support from your peers. You have people, you have a like-minded group of entrepreneurs that now you can take this journey with together. And we've seen how they've been able to support each other through sharing best practices, by giving insight and advice, and also by supporting each other and purchasing services and products from one another. And then last but not least, there's the alumni services. And essentially what that means is this program really never ends for you. We follow you throughout the duration of your business. And we do that because even after you graduate, you are now inducted into this alumni network where you are part of a group of 568 fellow alumni locally and over 9,700 alumni nationally. And so again, we believe in the power of community, and this is a great way to, this is a great community to tap into. So one of our partners includes PIDC and Community First Funding, and we're proud to have them as partners because what we're able to do is now refer various scholars and alumni to them to help get the financial support that they could use to make the necessary expansions for their business. So let's talk about our commitment to you. So I mentioned earlier that this program comes at completely no cost to you, right? And so you receive, if you are accepted into the program, you will receive a full scholarship. You'll receive practical curriculum to drive business growth. You'll receive a convenient class schedule that will currently be offered virtually due to COVID-19, and skills that can be applied immediately. We talked about the local and national alumni network and also the opportunity to access capital. In return, we do ask that you attend all learning sessions, that you are committed and that you're committed to the program and committed to demonstrating that you are really desiring and going after revenue growth and job creation. And again, because of COVID-19, we understand that may look different for various people, that your growth could be pivoting. Your growth could be deciding a new direction for your business so that you can continue to stay ahead of the curve as we go through this challenging time. Also, commitment to participate in all class activities, create a commitment to create a growth plan, and also to complete your monitoring and evaluation documentation. And so one of the things that is a core component in order to receive funding for the program, we have to show results. We have to show that it's working. And so before we can allow someone to participate in the program, they have to agree to make sure that they are going to stay committed to following up with their monitoring and evaluation documentation so that we could be able to give that to Goldman and say, hey, this is working, let's keep it going, right? And so again, that's why it's so important that whoever becomes part of our program is someone that really ultimately has a growth mindset, that you consider yourself a lifetime learner and you do not mind putting in the necessary work and follow-up action in order to make that happen. So the criteria. So now, first, I want to mention that we accept all businesses into our program, all industries. In fact, when someone asks me, who is the program for? I say the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, because really it covers all genres. We've had bakers in the program, attorneys in the program, accountants in the program, restaurateurs in the program. We really cover the whole gamut in terms of business, from construction, you name it. So as long as you are a business entity and you yourself happens to be the owner or the co-owner of that business, then you are eligible for the program. In addition to that, you have to have been in business for at least 2 years and an annual revenue of at least 150K. Now, I mentioned in the beginning that due to COVID-19, we are able to offer flexibility, and we're now able to reduce temporarily reduce the 150 to 100K for minority-owned and immigrant-owned businesses for this particular cohort. So if that fits, so if you're in a position where you could benefit from this flexibility, then I would encourage you to take advantage of the time to apply now, because we're not sure if this will be offered for the next cohort. So this is really a huge deal. I don't think that, I don't believe this has ever been done in the history of our program. So definitely take advantage. And in addition to that, while we normally require at least 4 full-time employees or the equivalent, we are allowing businesses that have at least 2 employees to also qualify. And please also note that you yourself count as 1 full-time employee, right? So, and if you have, let's say you have 2 part-time, then that's the equivalent of a full-time employee. All right, so we're trying to, definitely be cognizant of how COVID-19 has impacted businesses. And then last but not least, as I mentioned, we really want individuals who are committed to growth, that have a desire to grow and expand. So as you go through the application process, some of the things that you can expect to share is information about your business, information about you as a person, information acknowledging that you understand the program expectations, and then last but not least, the supporting materials and financial documents to verify that everything that you have stated is true. So they say that numbers don't lie. And on average, 70% of our alumni increase revenue, many of our alumni increased their revenue by 70% within 6 months of graduating from the program. And then many of our alumni create an increase of 50% of new jobs within 6 months of graduating from the program. And the graduation rate itself is at 99%. So it just goes to show that the program works. It works because people are not only finishing the program, but people are also seeing the results that the program has continuously shown the proven track record for. So earlier I talked about how part of the support network includes peer-to-peer networking and support, and part of that support comes in paying it forward. So 88% of the business owners support each other by purchasing products and services. And we know in this particular climate, that is crucial. I mean, it's an automatic new network of potential clientele just from joining this program. And another large percentage also go on to be mentors. In fact, I believe Albert also has begun to do more mentoring after completing the program. And so these are some other graduates from the program, other alumni who have gone on to do some really amazing things in their various spaces. And Ray Jones actually is the president of the Camden Business Association, and has made some extraordinary pivots during COVID-19. Milton Corsi is also doing some amazing things. And if you would like more information on this, feel free to reach out to me and then some other alumni. So again, what we see here, we see results. We see that the program is working, and is working for those who are taking it seriously. All right, so are there any questions? Feel free to enter your questions in the chat box or raise your hand so that we can call on you.
Okay, I am going to take a look at the chat, but first I want to add that our CEO, Valerie Cofield, is also a graduate of the program. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
We do have a question from Sheila Joyner. She wanted to know that she applied to the program before and wants to know, does she need to reapply?
So yes, we'll need you to reapply, but so if you could reach out to me, what we'll do is actually, I'll jot your name down because I'll make sure that you are reinstated. So what that means is that your application will stay in the system, but we will reset it so that you can go in there and you can make updates to it. And so it means that you won't have to start all over again. You'll just be able to update it, but you'll come in as a new applicant. And now I'm making note of your name now so that I can make sure that that is done today for you. Great question.
Next question is from Eileen Ming. She wants to know if she has 2 full-time employees, do they need to be W-2 employees or can they be 1099s?
They can be 1099s. Yes, they could be either or. We do count contractors. So yes, that applies.
And Pat Sanford says she's the same situation as Sheila Joyner, so she will need the same information.
Okay. All right. Awesome. I will also take your name down and make sure that we reset you in our system.
Okay. Edwina Thompson says that you mentioned technical advice was provided. What do you mean by technical?
Technical advice. I'm trying to recall at which point I used the word technical advice. So I may have been speaking in regards to the business advisors. So you're assigned a business advisor throughout the duration of the program, and the business advisor is able to provide you with advice regarding your business. Now they're not certified accountants or not, so they will approach it from a general view standpoint. But in addition to that, we have various subject matter experts that come in and will also be able to provide advice and support through the program. So I'm hoping that answered your question. If not, feel free to chime in and I could try to elaborate a bit more.
Okay, next question. What % of program applicants are accepted into the program? That question comes from Ron Alvarado.
So that question, it varies, but I will say this, that number can vary anywhere between 30, I would say on the average, probably about 30%, anywhere between 30 to 40%, sometimes lower. It really depends. And I want to add that just because a business may meet all the requirements does not necessarily guarantee a spot in the program. There are other things that they also look at, such as, are you involved in the community? Again, this whole program was started because it was an initiative to pay it forward. And so they do they do prioritize applicants who have shown a desire to want to give back in some form of fashion, whatever that looks like for you. So that's always helpful. Again, it doesn't mean that if you don't do that, you're going to be declined, but it is something that makes you more likely, in addition to having the requirements to be placed into the program. And so it really just depends. It really depends, but it is a very rigorous program. And so not everyone is considered to be the perfect fit for it. And so that number varies.
Okay, Lita Abel wants to know, can she give you a call?
Sure. Sure, I will place my cell phone number in the chat box.
And the next question is from Prasad Samana. I live in a different state than where my business is located. Do I sign up for the location where I live or where my business is located?
What location? Where do you live? May I ask?
I'm waiting. Maryland.
Okay, so Maryland, yes. So that would be accurate. You would sign up in Maryland. So Maryland, you would qualify for the Baltimore site. And I would encourage you to go to the site that, to visit the site that theapply.com, hold on, let's see, you see it at the bottom of the screen to the left, 10ksapply.com, that site. I'll type it here in the chat as well. When you go to that site, it will give you the option of putting in the state that you are from. Okay, great, you're there, perfect. So yes, you'll be able to apply to Baltimore. You're welcome.
Okay, this is a long question. GS is a well-known financial services house, and we offer kudos for your team stepping up to facilitate comprehensive participation in underserved markets. Is there a part of the program that would provide trading advice, i.e. moving from a privately held entity into a publicly traded marketplace?
So to answer that question, actually, so I want to make the differentiation between Goldman Sachs Foundation and Goldman Sachs, right? So we are not associated, we're separate, completely separate from Goldman Sachs, the financial institution. We work primarily with Goldman Sachs Foundation, so we have nothing to do with the financial side of Goldman Sachs. So I honestly could not answer that question or any question related to Goldman Sachs itself.
I don't see any other questions yet.
All right, well, while we're waiting for additional questions, I do want to ask Albert, if you can come on, if you can hear me, and talk a little bit more on the question related to someone asked about what's the chances of getting in the program, because Albert has a very interesting experience. He actually was denied the first time he applied, and there he is. And so Albert, if you could share a little bit more about how that process was for you.
Yeah, no problem. I guess getting into the program, it is a bit challenging. Goldman is, again, I think you had a metric of 99% people that take the program graduate. So they have a high level of expectations. So as they're interviewing or reviewing candidates, they want people who they feel are going to be successful and take the program seriously. Me personally, when I first applied for the program in 2014, my business was about 4 years old. I was definitely struggling, wanting to improve, but quite frankly, I wasn't able to commit to what the program needed. The program, they tell you in the beginning it's going to be 15 weeks, so many hours per week necessary. And at that time, I was so stuck in my business every day. At that time, I didn't have an org chart set up with a management team so that I could devote time to get that, to dedicate to the program. So when I first did that initial application, I was rejected. But even with the rejection, the 3 people I interviewed with basically told me what to do. That's why I really appreciate the program. Even with that being a semi-negative experience, they let me know, you need to be building a team to help you manage. You need to be working on processes. They gave me kind of an overview of what the program would have and what I should start implementing now so that I could reapply later. So in 2014, they basically said, you're not ready for the program, in a nice way. And I can look back and say I really wasn't mentally. I took that advice. I started adding additional staff. I started documenting process best I could. Again, it was nowhere near what I learned after I got into the program, but I did those things, reapplied again, expressed what I did, showed my commitment to the program, and then I was allowed to, take the course. But I mean, my biggest thing for anybody, you have to be prepared. You have to show that you're committed to do this. This isn't a program that you're going to come in and get a book or some slides and do, you can quickly just take 15 minutes and get this done. You won't get value from that. This program, you're getting experience as you go through the program. The financials, they have you actually creating statements, reading them, presenting them. When it's time to go over operations, they have you creating them, documenting metrics to improve your system. They teach you how to be bankable. So what that means, more bankable, they teach you how to be prepared to go to a bank to request funding. All that takes time and dedication, and I'm glad that they told me what was needed so that I could be prepared and then fully commit. And by being able to commit, I think I got the most bang out of it. I never missed a class. I absorbed everything I could absorb, and that's what helped me be able to apply it.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Albert. And so, so what that shows you is that this program is an elite program, and it means that because that process is as such, it means that you're going to be getting something of great value. Because anything of great value is going to come with a sacrifice, but you all already know that because you're business owners, right? And so definitely take advantage of that. And I noticed that there are no additional questions, but I do want to mention, I want to take a moment to mention that we are hosting an event called The Power of the Pivot. And Albert is actually going to be returning for this event. So grateful for his continued participation, but he'll be returning as one of the panelists. He'll be joined by some of his fellow alumni, and they're going to discuss some of the challenges that they faced as business owners during the pandemic and the various solutions that they've been able to put in place to still find success and not only survive, but thrive in the midst of this economic downturn. And so I would encourage you to check out the link. I placed it in the chat box. And this is part of MedWeek, which we are proud to be part of. And I would encourage you to also take advantage of the other various workshops that's going to be offered. In fact, I believe, Christine, you guys are also offering something. So be sure to take advantage of all those opportunities because it all makes a difference.
Yes, and there are 2 additional questions. Ron Alvarado, the application asks to select an area. I'm in Pittsburgh. What area shall I select?
So yes, I did respond, Ron. You want to Philadelphia for Pittsburgh.
Okay, got it. And then what characteristics and how can applicants show their commitment to this? Are these topics that are needed questions on the application? From Edwina Thomas.
So not necessarily on the application itself. I think this is a great place to add that the process is actually a 3-part process. So the first phase is application part 1. And that is essentially where you would go when you follow the link that I placed in the chat box for 10KSB Apply. That's the very easy 5 to 7 minute process, right? So that's why, so I would encourage you, if you can do it today, just knock it out, take care of it today, because it really doesn't take much time at all. And it asks for very basic information. The second phase of the application process goes a little deeper in depth. And asks for some of the supporting documents and just the financial documents to verify some of the various things that you pointed out in the first part of the application. And then the third process is the interview. And it's during the interview that you're really going to be asked some of the probing questions that will identify whether or not you have that level of commitment, whether or not you exemplify some of the other characteristic traits that we alluded to throughout the presentation, and that Albert reinforced in terms of the commitment and the drive, and also service to community. Those different things, and overall personality, those different things come out more so in the interview process. And so I wouldn't worry about it too much now. But it will come into play more in the event that you make it to the interview. Great question, by the way.
I don't see any more questions, and I just want to thank you again, Dr. Kiana, and thank you, Albert, for sharing your experience. I think that was great information for everyone. And before we wrap up, I just want to talk about our ROAR conference coming up. So it's a ROAR Matchmaker and Forum virtual series. The healthcare industry will kick off the series on Thursday. So registration closes on Monday, the 28th. So be sure you register. I'll put our website link in the chat, and you can just go to our website and you'll find that information there. There's also a live chat with our CEO, Valerie Cofield, Facebook Live on Monday, the 28th at 8 o'clock, and she'll give you a sneak peek at what the conference is all about. So with that, if there's no more questions and everybody's happy and well informed, we can close out the day.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Christine and Meg and Valerie and everyone as part of the team there. You guys are amazing. And Albert, of course, always appreciative of you supporting the 10KSB efforts, and for you all for joining today. Thank you so much for your time. We hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.